The next map that we have is the map of Asia. There's actually 2 Asian maps. This is the greater map that has many more countries on it. For a note on this, once again, I'll go through the countries first and then the other things. I'm not going to go over the Middle East again, just because there's already a map for that, and so you already memorized this section, so you don't need me to go over those again. But I will go over the rest of the map so we can get through that. If this is hard for you to read and zoom in on, it's a little bit difficult. I'll try to zoom in maybe. Here's another map too. So if you need to kind of take a snapshot of this map here, that will kind of help you be able to have that. So if you want to, like, you could take a screenshot of it or whatever, or just keep referring back to it just so you could see it better. But I'll go ahead and use this other map. And let me zoom out again. There we go. And we will just go through this map. Alrighty. So we already went over through the Middle East, so Afghanistan we already did over here. Next on the list we got Cambodia. Once again, I do these in sections, so I'm going to do like this section right here, kind of. It's actually going to be kind of this section. Then I move up to this section and then do this section right here, just to kind of cut down, so you're not just, oh, where is this country? Where is it? I look at these countries and I consider their shape or something about them, and you'll see that. Okay, once again, I find the countries that are most familiar. So first we got China and India. They're the 2 biggest countries here. We've already went over India. So the other one here is China. Of course, think of like the Beijing Olympics, all of that. So I found those. Mongolia up here, I remember, because think of the Great Wall of China. It was in the north to keep out the Mongols, to keep out the Huns. So Mongolia has to be to the north, because that's why we have the Great Wall of China, to keep out the Mongolians. So that's how I find that. Or think of like Genghis Grill, the restaurant, and this is red. So think of it's like a giant Mongolian steak from Genghis Grill. And it is red, it's right in the middle of Asia. So that's one way I'd do that. So she just keeps saying, okay, which one is this? Oh, Mongolian steak. Okay. Or it's red, it's the steak, that kind of thing. Okay, down here, since we did these, this section right here, I see Thailand. And luckily on this map you can do it because it's green and use this method. I say green tea Thailand. Green tea Thailand. It's green and it's sort of shaped like a funny tea. So green tea Thailand. That's how I do Thailand. And then right here is Cambodia. And I think of like a bowl, like it's round. Like Cambodia has an O in it. Cambodia, the bowl. So that's Cambodia. And then right here is Vietnam. And I've just seen many maps of it because of the Vietnam War. And you think of like North and South Vietnam. It's red, so maybe think of communism or something just for memorization's sake. So we got those. This one, Laos, I just kind of remember that, and it's in this group that I've remembered Laos. Solo Asians, Laos. So that's those 4 countries. Or maybe you can think of some kind of an acronym, but just for me, I just remember it's in this particular peninsula. I just remembered it in a group. Over here we have Burma or Myanmar, whichever one you want. I say Myanmar just because it's such a strange shaped country. It's very unfamiliar, and like the borders are not just like straight or maybe easy to just draw on a map myself. So Myanmar, it's kind of an unfamiliar name to me, so Myanmar is right here. And then, or maybe it's kind of like shaped like a star, so maybe think like a Burmese star, Burmese star, something like that. That's how you can remember that. At the end of this is Malaysia, and Malaysia is actually split between this peninsula and this island. And I say Malaysia lay between here and the island. So Malaysia lay between two places. And also, this is the Malay Peninsula. So I know Malaysia is on the Malay Peninsula. That's kind of how I remember it too. And at the tip of it is Singapore. It's a city, but it's actually an independent kind of city-state. And we had a Malaysian student here who is a singer, so I think of like my Malaysian friend who's a singer. So Singapore, it's right there, Malaysian, then Singapore. Here, Indonesia, it sounds like this is all these islands. There's just thousands of islands here. Indonesia, I kind of remember, to me, it's Indonesia. Think of like Indonesia or Micronesia. The Asia, it makes me just, for some reason, just makes me think of all kinds of like tiny little islands, just a bunch of things. So Indonesia is all these islands. And then up here is the Philippines, and I think of the city in the Philippines is Manila. And so I'm going to have to kind of go through some of the cities while I do this, just because of how I remember it. It's kind of a Manila color, and one of my students said Manila from Phila. Manila from Phila. So because it's Manila in the Philippines. And sort of this island, sort of kind of like if you have your map, it's sort of like an alien shape, this very top island. And there's sort of a little mouth at the like right there. And Manila is right above it. So if I zoom in, you can kind of see it's sort of like a alien shaped head right there. So we got the little dot right above the mouth. So Manila, it's kind of Manila shaped, like Manila envelope or something. Manila from Phila. Alrighty. Next, so we have this section down here. We can move up to this section. We have Japan. And think about Japan, the islands, the earthquake, and everything. It's a lot of people are pretty familiar with Japan since that and because of that. So just remember Japan, Tokyo, it's an island. Then right here, North Korea and South Korea. Think about it. It's split. It's a peninsula split kind of between the north and the south. And you can see the latitude lines right here actually show the direction it is if you turn the map straight up and down like this. So it's better to see. You can see that, yes, North Korea is in the north and South Korea is in the south. So it's a peninsula split in between the north and south. So we got North Korea and South Korea. So that's pretty easy there. Let me just turn the map again. Okay. So we got these sections down, all of this. And like I said, for the Middle East, just refer back to the Middle Eastern map to remember all of those countries and cities. So that's nice. It cuts down what you need to know on this map. Okay, next, for the cities, we have New Delhi, which we already covered on that other map. So New Delhi, India, you want to be first in line to get to the Delhi, so it's right beside this first river, the Ganges. And I think it's on the other map. I don't think I mentioned the Ganges River, but the Ganges is right there. Maybe you want to think about this curve as like shaped like a G for Ganges. And then, of course, we already did Bombay by the Bay or Mumbai by the Bay. But what's new over in India is Calcutta. And just keep saying Calcutta, India. Calcutta, India. Calcutta, India. And you can see India kind of stretches over here, and then it's kind of split into this weird section of land. So this is all part of India, but it's sectioned off. So Calcutta is where India is cut. Or you can say Calcutta where it's cut, something like that. Calcutta where it's cut. So right on the coast near where it's cut, that's where Calcutta is. Next, we have Bangkok, Thailand. And you think of, there's many movies where they talk about this, but Bangkok, Thailand, I just say that over and over, Bangkok, Thailand. And I say Bangkok, Thailand. Bangkok is at the top of this box, and I'll really show you if I zoom in here. See, there's a little box right there of land. So it's really box shaped. At the top of it, at the end of this river, is where Bangkok is. So think of Bangkok and box. That's where it is, right there. Then also while we are here, there's Ho Chi Minh City. you can remember Vietnam being this S-shaped kind of red, think S for Soviet, and it's red like communism. Think of like the war, Cold War, when we had the war in Vietnam. Just for memorization purposes. Ho Chi Minh City. Ho Chi Minh was the leader of North Vietnam, and to find it, it's at the bottom of the S. You see these two little rivers sticking out right here. You just go north of, or a little bit above those rivers. You see it kind of makes this little inlet of water, and then it goes down, and then bam, there's Ho Chi Minh City. And you can once again, they give you some leeway of space. I think it's about an eraser width all around that point, or it's like a centimeter diameter circle with the point, maybe smaller than that, but it's just about, it's like a eraser width or something, so it's pretty close. Once again, Singapore, I've already mentioned that. I've mentioned Manila. Then you don't have to do Jakarta, but you do have to do Seoul, Shanghai, Singapore, Tehran, Tokyo. Okay, so some of the other ones, you go up here to China. Like for those cities, you only have to do, you have to do Shanghai, Beijing, and Hong Kong. And this map doesn't mark it for some reason, doesn't mark Hong Kong, so I'll get the other map. So we can see. Okay. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay. So if we're looking at this area of land right here, to find Tokyo, think Tokyo, Japan. Like maybe that's familiar to you, Tokyo, Japan. Just find the river. There's only one little river that's marked on this map that's right in the middle of the largest island. So I think it's the capital, it's on the largest island. And so actually you see the river, there's a kind of a bay, or like a piece of land that kind of sticks in where Tokyo is. If I go to this map, you can kind of see that. So right there, you see that where it just kind of scoops in toward the river right there. That is where Tokyo is. And then Seoul, South Korea. Seoul is right below North Korea, and it's, so right where the borders kind of split, Seoul is right near the top, near the border. Maybe you want to save their souls or whatever, just because there's a lot of tension going on in the region at the moment with like nuclear weapons and whatnot. So we got those cities. Now there's 3 more in China. So in China, think Beijing, think of the Beijing Olympics. So this is like a big time city, the capital. Think about, okay, this is how I look at it. Beijing is the main city. So look where this water, the Yellow Sea jets into China. And so where the waterway really jets into China, this creates this largest area of water. Beijing is right beside this major body of water. So it actually almost kind of points to it, you see. And it's just, if you see this little river, it kind of points down to it, and then this points to it. So if you make a line down this way, and where it intersects with the line that's going down this way from this point, that's where Beijing is. Now to find Shanghai, I'll go back to the other map just so you won't have these other cities cluttering the map. You can see the land kind of makes an M shape right here. There's a big M and a little m right there. So Shanghai is right in the middle of where the M points downward. So right on that point of land, that's where Shanghai is. So if you think of Shanghai Nights or Shanghai Noon or something, these movies, think of that like big M, big movie, big M, big movie. So Shanghai, right there. Down here is where Hong Kong is. And actually Hong Kong is on the second leg of the M, right there. And if I can bring in the other map, you can see that. See, there's the M right there, and Hong Kong is on the second leg. So that's how you get those 3. Just replay the video to go over those. And then, just for bodies of water. And like I said, the Middle East, I'm not going to go over those cities and things that we've already gone over, because these maps kind of overlap in what you have to know on them. Okay, so bodies of water. You need to know, okay, so it's the Arabian Sea, you've already studied that. You've already studied the Indian Ocean down here. Then we've already studied the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea up here by Turkey. We've already studied the Persian Gulf and the Red Sea and, okay, Sea of Japan. Where would you imagine the Sea of Japan is? Right by Japan. So we find Japan, these islands right here, and so the Sea of Japan is just this body of water kind of created, or bordered, or created, separated, yes, separated by this land. That's where you find the Sea of Japan. Then you have the Ganges River, I already went over that, G-shape, curve, Ganges, first one. Euphrates and Tigris and Euphrates rivers, remember it's in Iraq, we already went over those and how to remember those. And, oh yes, Sri Lanka. It's this little island just south of India. Maybe think of ankle, like it's an ankle of India. Sri Lanka, ankle of India, Sri Lanka, right there. And okay, I think that is it for this map. Oh wait, no, there's more bodies of water, I thought. Actually, they don't have them. Because, of course, this is the Pacific Ocean and the Arctic Ocean, but I guess you don't need to know those. So now I'm going to move on to the next map.